Great, so now this time I'm sitting on a ball. The other exercise I was sitting on a chair, because what we're going to feel is after we've supported and nourished our yin, we start to feel a bit more space in the body again, the yang. So yin is more the earth, the grounding, the being stiller, more inward, in, yin, like the night time. And the yang is more, the space, the openness, the receptivity to others. So this phase of women's cycles is very much the manifestation or ovulation, opening to the energies of another to support our egg or our potential to grow. So from the yin, the yang can emerge. But I like the ball because we still always need that grounding support, and it's a much more gentle, potentially gentle movement energetically than menstruation, which is actually bringing out of our body and letting go. This is actually the opposite, welcoming in, although there is an inner letting go. So feeling the earth and then feeling the support through the legs, but this time in a little bit more of a dynamic way, and also moving the girdle in a bit more of a dynamic kind of way. So not as dynamic as we necessarily did for menstruation, but it could be if you wanted. But I'm just going to show a sort of softer, more opening to receive. So that's the kind of feeling as you're on the ball. Feel the wave, the soft quality, just move your hips in the way that feels good, and kind of inviting energy in, the energy of another. Obviously, if it's a more sexual connection, fertilization, opening. So legs perhaps quite open, feeling that opening of the perineum. That's why actually the massaging on the ball is quite nice. It kind of softens and opens and softens and releases any tight muscles in the back. So there can be this nice opening kind of energetic movement. But it can also just be letting space in, letting something new in, and inviting. So yes, I've been doing gestures with the arms because that's also the opening of the arms into space. With the more yin nourishing, the arms are more gathering and centering in these more essentially kind of allowing the yang to arise out of the yin. So once we've got a solid base, an earth, then the yang, a movement. So with our arms, we could be kind of mirroring what we're doing with our hips. This is quite free flow, just sort of opening. We've done a bit the yang linking, the flying. You could even go into kind of flying movements, but this is still quite linked to the earth because there is an earthy quality about two beings coming together, about bringing in an energy from outside to inside to the yin. So yes, the arms can be quite a good opportunity to release the neck and the shoulders in whatever way feels good for you, because actually in doing this we're focusing a lot more on the opening of the heart. So we could even take it a step back before this bigger opening of the arms, starting from the centre, the same gestures we did. This is part of the branches of sea of blood, breasts, penetrating vessel, but starting from the midline and opening. So this would be more an emphasis on opening. So even with this movement, moving the upper body, opening the heart, and then opening the arms. So heart, this is a heart connection point in the armpit, and then opening the arms, and not the opposite, you see, of what we did before, really opening into space and letting the heart be open, but in a very earthy kind of a way, and moving and rocking. So could be opening. Also, if connecting with another, there's an opening through the throat, the mouth, the brain. Brain very connected, as you've already seen, to the womb and the ancestral support. So, jaw, particularly important here. Softening, and maybe you could even be relaxing the jaw. Obviously another way of connecting with another through the mouth, which is very connected with the cervix, the opening. So releasing, preparing. Again, it's another person, it's food, it's words exchange. It's a joyful sharing of the heart, the mouth, opening from the heart. And we have to remember that in the womb, the fetal position, and even earlier, the heart and the brain are very close together, and it's like the heart goes and opens into the brain. So really opening the jaw and the throat. We opened in the previous one, we connected with the cheminée céleste, the celestial pathway, which then now we can really open into the throat, the jaw, the two sides of the brain, the neck. So, can be good also, nice position. Take your two hands, get your thumbs and start in the centre line of the occiput, back of the head, and then just come out about 2 fingers. You'll find quite a bony prominence, and underneath it, it'll feel like, that's a good place to settle my fingers. I'll just turn around to show you. So midline, out a bit still further. But again, just feeling where for you feels good. Those of you who know your points, it's gallbladder 20. Hold with your thumb like I was showing, and you can see that really opens up the armpit, opens up the heart, opens up the brain, the eyes, the throat. It's a nice opening. And so again, you could be still or you could be moving around in this kind of way. But in whatever way feels good for you, essentially. And this point actually is very good for releasing tension in the neck and the jaw. It's a point of the yang linking that we saw, which is really about releasing all the side of the body and also helping the two sides to balance. The two sides of the body, the two sides of the brain. In line with this opening, it's often good, I think we may have seen this point just in the top of the shoulders that often gets quite congested and helps to move. That's a more moving down, but we can do a more opening out release. Middle finger just in the most contracted part of the muscle of the top of the shoulder, and then a bit this wing-like movement, opening the heart and opening the wings. And if your arms get tired, you can go back to this movement, or just hold the hands on the back of the head and feel that opening and circling. So with this openness, there is that openness now of the points we did before, the heart protector. Really open the hands. So if you notice if the hands are clenched, that will tighten all through here. If our hands can be open, just stay a bit with that opening and feel how you want to express it. That actually, sorry, I should have my eyes open. It's an opening to the outside, the yang arising from the yin. The earth allowing space. And I'll just show you another kind of opening point. Is about 5 fingers up, but just feel where on this about 5 fingers, a palm. Do I feel an opening? It's a little bit in from the bone, the tibia, and it's not, when you do it yourself, it's not quite so good because you can't really open so much, so it's often good to more just visualise it. It's actually a point called the guest house. So it's like an opening and inviting into the body. So in fact, if you do this, it doesn't open so much. So just be aware where it is, and then just allow yourself to open also from the legs and the feet. And feel what movements you want to do. So you could just stay here, but you might feel, actually, I don't need so much this anchoring and I want to be more upright. So you can get rid of your ball. Just move that out of the way. And it's kind of like similar. So here can be a bit more free with the feet. So the heels maybe rocking, and we feel like a much lighter connection with the earth. A spiralling movement. This is very much the energy of the extraordinary vessels, spiralling, not just linear, both directions, down and up, but also a spiralling. So this also we saw for the menstrual opening, but it can be in a more, rather than visualising outwards movement, a drawing in, an opening to let things come into the body. So we feel this movement of the pelvis rocking and circling, the arms. So it's still the same themes. I'm just giving you ideas of how you could do it more standing up, opening the arms, the palms, the heart protector. They all get quite naturally open, so you don't have to think too much about the points. You could also have started from this movement of opening the breasts and the chests and the heart. You could also do the one with the fingers at the back of the head. This opens up all the heart. That's the heart channel, but obviously it's opening the heart and the breasts. So you could do more a movement like this. For the arms, feeling that top point and just wings, but a bit still connected to earth here, because there's a receptivity coming inwards. We don't want to fly completely into space for this one. So there's just a movement here. And one movement that you can't really do on the ball is more like a spiralling of the pelvis, a figure of 8. This is the girdle and the linking, well, all of the vessels and energies pass through here. So you sort of do a spirally 8 movement. So in fact, belly dancing is one of the really good ways also of opening and receiving. You spiral one way, and then you can spiral the other way. And you can't really spiral when you're doing this, but you might just feel that spiraling movement, and then that movement, how your leg is opening up, is that kidney point, the guest house, just opening and inviting. So they are some of the ideas of the main themes of this phase. You can spend longer or less time. Actually, just remembered we didn't focus so much on the kidney area at the back. As we're doing all these movements of the girdle, don't forget that it's going all around the back. So there can be an opening, a feeling of the support of the ancestors that comes in to this area here. And it can also be quite good to notice if there's a holding in the buttocks. Obviously that's part of the girdle, but it's also part of the yang that's coming up, that we're releasing, the yin and the yang. All of them, but especially the linking. So you could even go a little bit deeper down. And that's really a lot what we were releasing when we were sat on the ball, these areas here that can become tight. So I invite you to just take some of those themes and ideas, and you can incorporate it really into any position, any exercise. I've shown standing and sitting on the ball, but even lying down, you can do those kind of movements. Imagine I'm lying down, you could be opening up, moving the hips and the pelvis, opening the throat. Lying on your back, for this is the opposite to the one before, when lying on the front to nourish the yin, the earth. Lying on the back more opens into space, and the back is supported by the earth, so the front can open, the heart can open, the womb can open, and the throat can open. So I finished this one with a opening to remind you. It's like a gentle opening, but a receptivity to allow the guests, whatever guests they are, people, ideas, to come in to your body from the space outside. Thank you.